Think you need expensive tools or years of experience to improve your drawing? Think again. In this video, I'm sharing 5 powerful contour drawing exercises that will take your skills to the next level. No matter where you're starting from, you'll go from mastering simple shapes to creating detailed, lifelike drawings, while sharpening your observational skills and hand-eye coordination. By the end, you'll have 5 drawings and a toolkit of techniques you can use to keep leveling up. Ready to transform your art? Let's dive in. What exactly is cross contour? Cross contour drawings uses lines to map the curves and surface of an object, showing its 3D form. Unlike standard contour lines that outline shapes, cross contours suggest depth and volume by following the subject's inner curves. These lines mimic light and shadow, adding realism and depth to drawings, especially for complex organic shapes like the human body or fruit. Our first exercise is a simple circle. I'm using a pen for this exercise, but you can use whatever medium you want. This is a great way to warm up and practice this technique. Start by drawing a simple circle. Don't worry about making it a perfect circle. It's important to ghost your lines as well. Hovering your pen 0.2 to 0.5 centimeters away from the paper before committing to the final strokes. Try and continue the line 3 or 4 times. Visualize the circle as a 3D object. Imagine it has a transparent form with lines wrapping around it. Draw a dotted line to represent the far side of the circle, just as crucial as the front-facing lines. This helps establish depth and dimension in your drawing. Experiment with different angles, moving the cross-contour lines from left to right and top to bottom. As you move downwards on the circle, notice how its depth increases. The line should gradually become more dynamic as you depict the curvature of the shape. To emphasize the front of the circle, you can make the outer lines thicker, including the outline itself. This technique helps visually reinforce which side of the circle is closest to the viewer, creating a stronger sense of depth. By varying the line thickness, the circle will appear more three-dimensional, with the front portion more pronounced whilst the far side remains lighter and more subtle. Spend 5 to 10 minutes on this exercise, refining your understanding of how contours and depth work together. Share how you're progressing with these exercises or ask any questions in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. Organic shapes. Draw a series of organic sausage-like shapes with smooth flowing curves. To better understand how the object sits in space, add a center line through the middle of each shape to represent its horizontal axis. Next, draw cross-contour circles around the shapes, varying their size and angle to show how the form changes along its X and Y axes. Use dotted lines for the circles on the far side of the shape to depict depth and transparency. Experiment with line thickness to emphasize the outer edges and try different angles and shapes to push your understanding of three-dimensionality. It's crucial to understand that the diameter of the cross-contour ellipses changes depending on the form's orientation and distance relative to the viewer. So when you view an ellipse straight on, it appears flat. However, as the angle shifts, the depth of the ellipse increases. Visualize how the shapes fold and curves as they point towards and also away from you, the viewer. Start by closely studying and copying my examples to grasp the concepts, then challenge yourself to draw your own variations. Dedicate 10 minutes to this exercise, focusing on how the contours enhance the object's form, volume, and curvature. Simple fruit. This exercise introduces more complex curves, challenging you to represent form, volume, and depth more effectively. Start by drawing the outline of the apple first. Then draw contour lines that flow from one side of the apple to another. Add horizontal contour lines as well, observing how they widen towards the base of the apple, creating the illusion of depth. You can experiment with variations too. Try shaping the apple to make it more irregular and interesting. Manipulating the contours allows you to depict unique shapes, showcasing the flexibility of this exercise. Once your contour lines are in place, you can use them to guide shading, giving the apple realistic volume and structure. Practicing with different fruits like bananas, oranges, or potatoes will broaden your understanding of form. Spend 10 to 15 minutes on this exercise. Incorporate a shadow and experiment with varying your line thickness to enhance realism. If you're enjoying this video, please like, subscribe, and comment me below. It really helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate your support. Cup or mug? Focus on capturing both the curved and straight lines that define its structure, paying close attention to proportions and also symmetry. Challenge yourself to include the handle as well, observing how its contours flow naturally into the body of the mug. Ensure the circular edge of the top of the mug is properly positioned in space, using ellipses to show depth and perspective. The top ellipse will appear wider or narrower depending on the viewing angle. For mugs viewed from above, the top ellipse will look fuller, whilst mugs viewed from the side angle will look flatter. The bottom ellipse should be even flatter, as it's further away from the viewer's eye level. Experiment with drawing mugs at different angles to see where I'm coming from, and also to understand how ellipses shift in space and compression due to perspective. Follow the curves and the body of the handle, outlining the outer edges of the circles to emphasize form. For added realism, include a shadow and experiment with varying your line thickness to create depth. Spend 10 minutes on this exercise. You can also draw other objects like a vase, a cup, or a glass to expand your skills. The final exercise is drawing an eye, which challenges you to capture its intricate details, forms, and contours. This requires observing the subtle variations and angles found in the eyelid, iris, and lashes. Pay special attention to the outer and inner contours to create depth, ensuring that the eye appears lifelike and three-dimensional. Incorporate horizontal and vertical cross-contour lines to illustrate the eye's curvature. Beginners often make eyes look flat against the head, but this exercise will teach you to depict them with realistic volume. Experiment with varying your line thickness for added depth. Add details like the eyebrows, lashes, and cross-contour shading to complete your drawing. Try and aim for 15 to 20 minutes on this exercise, referencing my drawing or a photograph to understand the angles and contours that can make your eye truly stand out. These 5 contour drawing exercises will help you build a solid foundation in drawing and observation. The more you practice, the better you'll get at capturing the true essence of an object. Keep practicing and don't forget to enjoy the process.